let's say there's someone that's kind of starting out and they're struggling to see results, but growing their personal brand on Instagram is a key goal.
Mhm.
From your growth experience, are there a couple of key recommendations that you'd say to those people?
I'd say, you know, inject yourself in your community and your surrounds. There are so many like talented people. And I live in LA, like I live in a massive city. So like I guess
Mm.
saying that is easy. Maybe if you're like a guy or a girl that's sort of like in a rural town or something like that, it's not as easy. But I think like one thing I've always been like super, super, super happy to throw myself into is like traveling to do photography meets or like if I do have, and obviously be safe about this, I don't want to promote like bad internet safety etiquette, but if you have like Instagram, and honestly, like most of my friends in LA have been from Instagram, and people that I met here from photography. If you have people that you've built like a solid sort of network with online, go meet them, go photograph with them, and go do shoots with them, and do photography meetups. And if people aren't hosting photography meetups, go and create your own. I think like networking honestly is like the biggest thing for me, collaborating with people to just sort of like, you know, get your name out there and get people seeing you and meeting more people. And then, word of mouth, like people in my circles are always so complimentary, and we always sort of go, you need to be following this person, or like, you need to be reaching out to this person because your style would just work so well with them. So that's been a huge key to sort of like me growing, not only personally, but like online, or not only online, sorry, but personally as well. I mean, like these people that I've met and been exposed to within the sort of like online community that I've been a part of and helped, like I've been trying to build and stuff like that, really has shaped me as a person so much more than like I feel like I would have gotten out of life if I was just sort of meeting people at bars and stuff like that. And that is the beauty, I think, of the internet and Instagram and stuff like that, is that it just opens up your world so much to be able to interact more freely with people who are sort of like on the same level as you. And that's not even just in creative industries. I mean, you could just be like someone that loves dogs or cats or hedgehogs, for God's sake. I mean, and then there's a community online for it that will welcome you and sort of like, you know, and that in itself helps build my confidence. But I will say this, having like an identity has been the most important thing for me. I think like in my early 20s, I was kind of like not lost. Like I've always known who I was, but my work has never benefited so much from me being confident in the person that I am and the stories that I want to tell. And just like also knowing that with what I do or with what I post, there is value there. And I think as a creative, like you can often get caught in this sort of like wheel of that person edits better than me, or that person has a better drone than me that can get higher, or like that person is doing more podcasts than me, or whatever. And, especially radio was a place that taught me this, was kind of like, if you aren't sort of like very comfortable with who you are, the audience will know that you're faking it. And I think that in creative fields, that, well, to me, that's my biggest sort of like advice and takeaway. And this is what I tell the talent with the podcast that I produce as well. It's like when I'm launching shows, don't fake it, because you have an audience, like you're building an audience naturally. And when you start to fake it, people are going to know that you're bullshitting to them. You know what I mean? And then if you're not like confident, you don't know who you are, the narratives that you tell just aren't going to resonate with people. And I mean, the narratives that you tell as a confident person are not going to sort of resonate with everybody. But I think that when you're honestly out there and you're like talking your truth and you're sort of like, and it sounds very cliche, like I feel like we should be sitting on the beach right now listening to a sunset talking about manifesting and this and that and whatever. But it is so like true. It's like no one cares if you're going to get online and just bullshit them. And I think that like we have access to so much now, and so many people, like, so you do know when people aren't telling the truth or they're kind of like manufacturing this reality. So yeah, finding my identity, long way around saying that, was something that helped me so much. And I did notice that people would start following me more or start reaching out to me more with like posts that I make or things that I put on my story. And again, tracking back to that, I'm a very emotional guy. Like I try to tie like everything I do with photography into sort of like how I regulate my emotions because I don't go to therapy because I'm one of those people that knows better and it's probably going to bite me in the ass one day, especially with some stuff that's happened in my life recently. But honestly, the creative industries are my outlet for therapy and how I see it. And when I started to be honest with it, it just helped me grow so much as a person. Personally, I keep tracking back to that. It helped me grow personally as a person, but also too, like it helped my platform grow a lot more because people resonated so deeply with me just being like very authentic and they could sense that.